Welcome to the Life to the Fullest podcast. I'm your host, Dad Jason. This is the EF3 Life platform. We're grateful for you to join us today because we are all in this season of thanks. We're charging forward, moving and grooving towards 2024 with only about 37 days left in the calendar year. It makes me think about the last time that we shared on the podcast and how we were reflecting in order to finish strong and to win during this season of thanks. It's also separation season, a time between the holidays from Thanksgiving to the new year where you're really trying to separate yourself from your former self, where you're trying to make a move in your life, where you're trying to get after it. Most people are coasting, right? They're getting into too much of the holiday cheer, the hustle and bustle of everything that goes on with preparation for Christmas and gifts and holiday parties. And a lot of times the wagon wheels fall off the cart. People stop being disciplined when it comes to their fitness or how they're eating, their lifestyle, and even being present in the moment because everything in life gets so busy. Right now, you can make some serious moves and separate yourself also from the pack. And if it comes to your business, comes to where you're working, even in your relationships, you could be intentional about these things in order to really separate yourself from the rest of society. And in doing so, you become a greater version of yourself and you go into the new year in a new you. This is how we're going to do it today is we're going to talk all about making moments happen by any means necessary. You know, I was recently playing football with some family after Thanksgiving, and it was a spontaneous happening that occurred a few years ago. I had called up my family and friends and I said to them, hey guys, and it was the week of Thanksgiving, you want to play football the day after? And they actually, most of them had received the invite, with just greatness and generosity. And we had a blast, right? Going out there, and there was people of all ages. And it's amazing the amount of fun that you can have, even though you're freezing your tail off here in New York. But it was just a tremendous happening and put so many smiles on faces. And through these times and our moments in our life where maybe there's an unexpected happening where you don't plan something out, but we actually are doing things in order to bring life to one another, in order to bring that liveliness. Because unfortunately, so often in our life, especially during the busy season, it can be very hard and we can have to disrupt our own routines or the things that we're striving for, our goals, are the things that, we're trying to build winning systems. All of this is essential. You have to do that in order to truly live life to the fullest. But another thing you have to do from time to time is to press pause, is to stop and to do things in a manner where you didn't plan for them, where you didn't do something that was scripted, but you actually were spontaneous and you went outside of the box to do something that was fun in the moment. I struggled with that for many years of my life. I don't know about you, if there's something, what type of personality that you are, but for people that are that type A personality that have to plan things out, that have to have it structured all the time, often we'll miss moments, we'll miss the chance to, do something that we weren't expecting to do or to participate in an activity that wasn't in our calendar. But my hope is that through doing this in a different manner and living life truly to the fullest, that you will actually have time carved out in your calendar to have an open space. And why is that openness important? Because there could be things that come up that if you're too filled up, if your calendar is too stacked, that you cannot say yes to. You have to carve out space in your life, and you have to do this in your personal relationships, in your business dealings, in every facet in order to be ready to jump in. It's no different than having a cash reserve available. For people who are following the stock market, right? You're going to have these ebbs and these flows. The same is the nature of life. There's ups and there's downs. There's moments of, great triumph and these mountaintops. And there's also moments of defeat. But in between, in the regular time, in the course of our daily life, right? We have to have this space open so we can say yes to things when they come to us. If we're too busy, if we're too inundated with our own thoughts, what we have to get done, being a taskmaster, it doesn't leave time for us to jump in. Just like if we don't have cash available, we can't get into the market and ride the game. So my hope is that during this time of growth in your life, during this separation season, during this time of the next, month or so, when we're getting ready for the clock to strike 12 in 2024 to be here, that we live a little bit differently. And we do it by any means necessary. We took a full evaluation of our life last time that we shared together on the podcast in the last episode. Today, though, I want you to think outside of the box and I want you to get creative. I want you to do things this week that maybe you have never done before. I want you to, think about your friends and the activities and the hobbies and just the daily living that they like to do. And I want you to jump in with them fully, even if it's something that's foreign to you, because you might unlock a beautiful thing that you really are passionate about. And that is the great thing of life. We're always changing. We're rejuvenating. We're refining and redefining who we are at every stage of the game. And some people say status quo. They are not living life fully. Instead, they're going through the motions, and it's sad to see because they aren't fully alive, right? We want to be truly fully alive. We want to be thriving. We want to get after it every single day. And yes, there isn't going to be moments of exuberation at every single second of our life. Sometimes we got to do things and get things done. Absolutely. You got to stay focused. You got to be intentional. But my point here is that if you just carve out a little bit of space, if you have a little bit of openness and you schedule that openness on a weekly basis or even a monthly basis to start, what will happen is you will be able to say yes to some things that before you were not able to say yes to. There will be more options on the table for you to have fun in your life. Because as much as it is important to rise and grind and repeat, you have to look forward to things to keep the needle moving forward. You have to be able to have things that are fun, that are exciting. And yes, some of those are going to be planned and some of those are going to be unplanned. And we don't know how long our journey of life is going to be. Hopefully, we are here for many, many years. Hopefully, the people that we love and we, receive that joy from and we're able to give that love to are with us through all those years as well. But none of that is guaranteed. So as I get a little bit older, as I reflect, as I look at the relationships and the true beauty of what's happening in my life, and hopefully you can do the same, it's amazing to look at it because what happens is it calls to mind action. And that's exactly what it is. It's a call to action. And it's not just being reactionary. It's also about, yes, planning important moments. It's also about saying yes to times that are unplanned so that way we can have fun. If you're not having fun, what are you doing? If you're not going out there and you're enjoying the day to day, then what is your life anyway? And yes, again, there will be pain. There will be suffering. There will be challenges. There will be hardship. There will be adversity. All those things are going to take place. But why not have a smile on your face in the moments that you can? Why not seek out joy in the times and in the day when your nieces and nephews come over, they want to play with you on the playground, and maybe you weren't expecting it. Guess what? What a gift. What a gift those moments can be. What a time in your life where you can say yes because you have the space, because you have the hours, because you are healthy enough, because you are wealthy enough, because you have the ability and the wherewithal and the time. And time is our greatest asset. It's our greatest ally. But often we schedule and max out our life so much, which is, in many times I could say I don't fault people for doing that because you want to be an achiever. You want to be someone who is crushing your goals, who is achieving your dreams. I fully understand that. But there has to be some kind of balance between the present moment, right, and the things that we're looking forward to. And then there's this space, this gap in between, which allows us to say yes to spontaneity, which allows us to go for the things that are presented to us even on a regular basis, even on the spur of the moment. Because I'm willing to bet the next time your friend says to you, hey, this weekend, do you want to do this hike? And you do it, you're going to get so much out of it. I'm willing to bet that the next time a family member says, hey, we're planning a trip to the Grand Canyon. Would you want to go with us? And you say, heck yeah, I'm jumping on and I'm going and I'm living it out, you will not have any regrets. I believe that most people have regrets at the end of their life because they didn't do things that they really desired to do. I believe that people have, regrets at the end of their life when they look back and they reflect, they say, hey, I didn't invest enough in the people who were around me. I didn't prioritize relationships as much as I should have. I was so concentrated on work, on doing this or that, on crushing life and these goals that I forgot to live in the day in and day out. Because if you look at the span of your life, and even in the course of a year, where we know that we're going to work, for on average 40 to 50 hours a week, we understand that, on a daily basis that you're there for 8 or 9 hours. But when you look at, the parallels of life and the weekend, you got to live. And I understand that you can't live every single day like a weekend because you do have to do things to be able to afford these beautiful opportunities. You do have to, to get things done. There's no other way of saying it. However, if you don't have space, if you don't set aside time, what takes place is you start to actually become a little bit more bitter, and you become somebody who might have a negative attitude. It might be bringing some baggage with you wherever you're going. That's not the kind of person that we want to be. That's not the kind of person we want to hang around, right? We talked about this in the past of weeding out people who are not a life giver in your life. We want you to be that person that's bringing the joy. It's interesting. We had Thanksgiving at my house celebration with our family and friends, and it was wonderful. It is a beautiful time. And to have the honor and privilege of having people over to your home and to celebrate, the many things that you are grateful for, especially the gift of one another. And so many people will say, what can I bring, Dan? What can I bring to your house to help out with this feast? And it's a blessing to have them, to offer that. And I was reading this actual Instagram post, and a guy was saying, just bring the joy. Imagine that. Bring the joy. The next time someone says, what can I bring to your house? Imagine you say, bring the joy. What would the response be? That's got to make you smile. That's got to make you think differently. That's got to make you say, hey, by any means necessary, I'm going to make this opportunity fun. By any means necessary, I'm going to see the goodness, the lightness, the happiness, the excitement in it, and romanticize your life a little bit. Right? If you're having a dinner party with family or friends, instead of just setting the table in any ordinary way, okay, put some garland on the table. Put those plate chargers out. Put out the fine china and get some choice wine. Make some delicious food. Put on that music and set the candles, because the environment that you are creating allows for a space for you to make a memory for somebody else and with somebody else that will last. See, these are the things that I'm learning as my journey continues, is that if you romanticize your life a little bit, if you try to make the ordinary moments a little bit more special, a little bit more lively, if you are the life giver in the daily day, what happens is people want to be around you. They want to enjoy the journey with you a little bit more, and you're going to see the celebration, and it's going to become contagious because you're known as that. It's funny. One of my cousins, she works down in Long Island as a teacher, and I'm laughing at this because this summer when they were spending time at our house and we're enjoying the barbecue, swimming, all this kind of stuff, it's funny. She says, this one teacher or mentor, his nickname is Party Rick. I'm like, man, that is a great nickname. And you might be laughing at it, saying, oh man, this guy's not serious, or, he must be just like crazy. But that's the thing. He's crazy and having fun. He's crazy and looking for the excitement. He's crazy and living life to the fullest. And there's nothing crazy or wrong about that at all. Because the people who don't have fun in their life are the ones that aren't creating it. The people that aren't having fun in their life are the ones that aren't receiving it. There are people who are creating an invitation, who are reaching out to you to say, hey, I want you to do this or that. And there are so many of us, and I was one of them for a long time. So I don't blame anybody, but I just want you to see life a little bit more differently, a little bit more clearly. And I want you to have fun, to have some excitement for many years. Okay. And some of you out there are still living this way. And I'm praying for you. I believe in you. I know that you can turn it around. And I know you can overcome any kind of hardship. I was living in a Great Depression, right? And my anxiety and just this self-doubt and just this loathsomeness about myself consumed me. It was like there was a dark cloud enveloping me every single day. And I didn't even want to get up. And it got to the point where I didn't want to live anymore. But then eventually, by the grace of God, I was able to snap out of it. By the grace of God, through prayer, through just tremendous faithfulness, through somebody, a great priest who reached out to me, I was able to overcome those hard things. And I think to myself, in that valley, in that darkness, there still was some light. And now I can barely even recall or think about how was I that person once before, because now when people look at me, they're like, dang, Dan, you're a jet setter. It seems like every single weekend you're off to this city or that city, you're doing this fun thing or that fun thing. And I was way too frugal at certain points in my life. Now, is it important to save, invest, and really look at your goals and be intentional about how you want to spend money and what you're going to do when it comes to what you're trying to aim for with your finances? Absolutely. Is it important to be responsible and to be, an intelligent and wise investor, as well as somebody who is a really sound decision maker? 100%. However, you can go to the extreme. And when you go to the extreme in one way, you suck the fun and life out, not only of yourself, but of the people around you. And now, when they think of a guy like Party Rick, or think about Dan the Jet Setter, well, guess what? They're thinking about people who are having fun, who are inviting other people to come in and enjoy that excitement. And what happens? Your life and the level of your living just elevates. Because it doesn't mean you have to go to this place or that place or fly here or there every single weekend. But what it does mean is that even when you're home, even when you're doing things that might seem regular, you find ways to make life special. You find ways to make other people feel like they're appreciated, like they're valued. And you do things that are fun or exciting with those around you. Now, it could be the same people that are around you, or you might be attracting in a whole new group of friends or colleagues that you want to build relationship with. But the key and the most essential element is that you have joy. One of the greatest things, the gifts that you can have and give to somebody else, is truly to bring the joy. Because when you bring the joy, everything in the room changes. Have you ever been at a party where, you can feel the environment, the vibe, what have you, but then somebody walks in the room and it's like, boom, life just explodes, right? There's so much more energy. There's so much more liveliness. This person is a big personality, but now everybody's going. It's like the rally crew. It's like at a football game after the touchdown, and you got the cheerleaders, the band, and then the music starts going, and everybody in the stadium starts rocking. I want you to try to be that person during this holiday season. And you might be saying, hey, Dan, that's not me. That's just not my temperament. That's just not my personality. Okay, maybe don't go to that far extreme, but bring a little bit more joy, a little bit more excitement, a little bit more happiness to the people that you're with. Put a smile on someone else's face. Tell a silly joke. Make someone laugh. You will feed off that energy, and the people around you, they will just love that positive vibe that you're bringing, because we're alive. Too many people, unfortunately, lose their life literally at way too young of an age. And when you see that, and when you realize that you could potentially be not a statistic, but somebody who loses their life, or could have in the past, or you've had a moment where it just woke you up and you realize, man, life is so precious. It's so beautiful, but also could be so hard. So in these moments when I have the time and the space, in these moments when I create room in my life to say yes to somebody's invitation, to say yes to something fun, to say yes to doing this or that, or also inviting people in to create that. That's where life is lived. That's where life is given. And that is where you have fun and you live to the fullest. Because if there's one thing that I hope that people remember about me, especially from the time that I was about 30 years old until the time that I'm not here anymore, is that this guy lived life fully. This guy was truly alive, that he invited people to have fun, that he was a jet setter, that he went here or there and everywhere and wanted to invite people to be part of that he created these moments for others, that he loved and he wanted to bring the joy. So bring the joy this holiday season. Bring the joy wherever you're going. Bring the joy in your smile to people when you see them, when you visit them, when you go to your holiday parties. And I guarantee you, when you say yes to these spontaneous moments, when you invite other people to do things that they weren't expecting, when you go out of your comfort zone and you do certain things that people are like, whoa, I didn't realize you were like that. Boom, what happens? Man, you become more not only relevant to other people, but you're able to deepen that relationship. You're able to have more fun. Stop taking life so seriously. There are moments to do so. Don't get me wrong. This is not just fly off the handles and anything goes, blow all your money, don't care about your goals or, raising the level of the standards of your life. No, this is raising the temperature when it comes to a few things personally, so that way you are more alive. And if you're more alive on the regular, if you're more alive on the weekends, during the evenings, what's going to happen is it's going to seep into every part of your life. And you're going to be more alive at the workplace. You're going to be more alive as an entrepreneur. You're going to be more alive and bring the joy wherever you go, especially when God is living fully in your heart. When you have your priorities right. When you're seeing the goodness versus the things that the world wants you to look more fully at, or the media wants you to focus on, the negativity and the downfall and, the disastrous parts of humanity. No, you'll be looking through a lens of joy, a lens of love, a lens of peace, a lens of happiness, a lens of bringing goodness, true goodness, because life is good, man. Life is good. But you have to be alive to thrive. You have to invite other people. You have to have that fire burning within your heart to understand that, yes, this moment might be the only thing that I have. So enjoy it fully. Today is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it, because today is the only gift that we have. There's no greater place I'd rather be than right here, right now. Live it fully. Live it without abandon and do it to the max. Like Ed Milet says, max out your life. If you do that, I believe and declare that not only in this next 37 days or so, but charging fully, full throttle, gas pedal to the floor into 2024, you're going to set yourself up to have the best year that you've ever had, that you're going to see life in a different manner, that you're going to do things you never even expected to say, wow, I did that. Or wow, I was able to enjoy, that opportunity and have these experiences with so many people that I love. And when your hour is called, when your name comes to the end and God calls you home, you will be able to say, hey, I did it and I did it well. I lived and I lived even more. I was fully alive and I was thriving. That's the way I want to live. That's what I'm inviting you to. And that's the way that we can live life to the fullest. If you enjoyed the podcast today, my hope is that you will share it with at least one or two other people that will receive something from it, because their life is a gift as well. You have opportunities. You have great gifts to give to others. And one of them is yourself. One of them is your talents, your time, and your treasure. My hope is that you will share this so that way other people can enjoy it and other people can live life fully. God bless you. Have an amazing time with your family and your friends this week, and live life to the fullest. Be fully alive. Don't forget to bring the joy. I'm your host, Dan Jason. This is the Life to the Fullest podcast. As always, keep living life to the fullest. God bless.